Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of selections from Euripides, and I'm continuing on reading the Alkestis of Euripides, and we're almost at the end of the play. So I got up to, I think, line 1001, and in this stigomythia here, Herakles is speaking with Admetos. Herakles is trying to convince Admetos to accept the woman into the house. And he's very reluctant, of course, having earlier in the play said that he would never remarry again. So we finished off with line 1100, and he says, doing this thing, in fact, I will be bitten in respect of my heart with grief. And Herakles now says, Pithou, takanga es deon pesoi charis. Obey. This is the middle imperative, aorist from patho. Pathomai in the middle means to obey, and this is the imperative, so obey, so do as I say. For, now taka an plus the optative used for the sense of perhaps, and es deon is another of these idioms. So meaning opportunely. Now we get pesoi here, which is the optative from pipto. Aorist is peson, so this is an aorist optative here. And this is probably a metaphor from dice throwing, of gaming. You get quite a number of these metaphors from throwing of dice in Greek, and this is probably one of them here. So for perhaps good fortune might fall, es deon, well, to your need, or perhaps opportunely. So obey me, do as I say, for perhaps charis, a grace, some good thing, might fall opportunely. Admetos extra metrum, we have few, and then he now says, eth exagonos tendime labes pote. Ethe, meaning would that, and it's taking a may here, so would that you had never taken, having in the sense here of won, because he takes her as a prize, so would that you had never taken teindi, this woman, ex agonos, as a result of the contest. And picking up the contest metaphor, Herakles says, Nikon ti mentoi kaisu sonikais emoi. However, you also will share in the victory with me who have been victorious. So, however, you also will share in my victory. You could paraphrase it as, but literally, you will conquer along with me who have conquered, who am conquering, who am the victor. Kalos elexas hegune dap eltheto. Well, you've spoken well, but let the woman depart from ap erchomai. Apesen ekre prota de creon arthre. This is from ap Amy Ibo, so this is just the third person singular, so she will go away if that's what you want, if it's necessary. But firstly, athre here is an imperative from athreo, to look. So it's it's athre imperative. So have a look to see if it is necessary. So look first to see if that's what you really want, if it is necessary. Kre su geme melontos orgainen emoi. Well, it is necessary, unless, indeed, now we get a genitive absolute, so you being about to be angry with me. So she must. So it is necessary, I understand, for her to go, unless you're about to become angry with me. Eidos ti cargo tendi echo pro muthian. Cargo for kai ego as usual. He says, Eides ti, knowing a certain thing, I also, now it's echo, I have this zeal. So again, in Greek, in English, you've got to turn things around. So I'm very keen for this because I know something. Well, we'll find out what he knows a little later, but he says, knowing a certain thing, I also have this zeal. So I'm very keen for her to stay. And then, strangely, Admetos finally gives in. He says, Nika nun. There's that, the weakened form of noon. It's enclitic. That's why it's got no accent. Nika is imperative. Literally, conquer then. Well, have your way, we might say. Umain handanon tamoi poies. You are not, literally, you are doing things not pleasing for me, or you are not doing things which are pleasing to me. Main, in fact. This is from handano, to please. It's a participle here, neuter participle. So you are, in fact, you are indeed doing things that I don't really like, things that are not pleasing to me. Al est hoth hemas aineses pithumonon. But you will praise us. It is possible that you will. Oh, sorry. The hoth here is from hote. So, well, there is understand a time when you will praise us. Well, me, plural for singular. Yeah, sorry. That hoth there is from hote. Hoti is never elided. Well, I say never, but there may be one or two examples, but it's extremely rare. Normally when you get hot elided, it's hot hair. So understand there is a time when you will praise me, only pithu, obey, do as I say. Comidzet e cretendi dexastai domois. Bring her in if it is necessary for to receive this woman in the house. So comizdo. So bring her in, carry her in. Convey is probably a good word here. Convey her if it is necessary for her. If it is necessary to receive her domois in the house. Uk an methean ten gunaika prospolois. This is from methiami, to release, perhaps to hand over here. I would not hand over the woman prospolois to servants. Prospolos. Sudautos autein es ag ebule domus. Well, you yourself then lead her into the house if you wish. This is second person from Boulamai, middle. Herakles says, Es sas men un ego gethes mai keras. Now, menun is quite a strong particle combination here. So it's sort of like rather, or but therefore, I, in fact, so it's ego plus get, I will place her, understood, es sas keras, into your hands. Uk an thigoi mi dora de selthen para. Now this is from thingano, it's theta iota double gamma, thing and alpha nu omega, thingano, to touch, and the root of it is thig. The interesting little grammatical point here, in thingano, the first gamma is really a nasal. It's a bit like lanthano, and the root is lath, and thingano, the root is thig. So the first of the two gammas in thingano is not really a gamma at all, it's a guttural nasal. So the verb means thingano is to touch, and this is the aorist optative. So I would not touch her, but para, notice the accent here, para for paresti, perhaps it is granted for her, understood, to enter the house. In other words, she's allowed, it's permissible for her to enter the house, so she can do it by herself. Te se pepoitha kairi dexiamone. Here, pepoitha, I entrust. It is connected with patho. It's one of these words that is perfect in form, present in meaning. So I entrust, understand, her to your right hand alone. Admetos said, Anax biasde me u thelon tidran tade. Now the ending here is the second person middle, biasdemai. So, O Lord, you compel me, who am not willing, to do these things. So you're compelling me to do these things against my will. Tolma protenai kera kai thigain xenes. Now there's that verb again, thingano. This is we saw just up here. This is verb of touching, and of course it takes a genitive, partitive genitive. So tolma is imperative from tolmao. So dare proteno from teno, to stretch out. So dare to stretch out, this is an infinitive, your hand, and to touch the female stranger. Kaide proteno, gorgona hos karatomon. And slightly comic here, perhaps on stage it'll be he's holding out his hand. So indeed I am holding out my hand as though I were cutting off the Gorgon's head. So you can imagine on stage he's sort of almost at arm's length from the girl, but just touching her. So I am stretching out my hand as though I were cutting off the Gorgon's head. From kara, head. Tom is from temno, root. This is karatomio, to cut off a head. And of course you can't look at the Gorgon while you're cutting off their head, because you'll turn to stone. So in other words, he's putting out his hand to touch her, but he's looking in the opposite direction. Ekes, do you have hold of her? Echo, nai, yes, I have her. Soedzi nun kai ton dios veses pot enai pyrgenion xenon. Soedze nun, keep her safe then. Again, this is the enclitic nun. You can see the accent here. So keep her safe then, and pot, one day you will say that the son of Zeus, here we are, Anai, to be a noble guest friend. So keep her safe, and one day you will speak of the son of Zeus as a noble guest friend. Of course, that's referring, of course, to himself. Blepson prosauten. Etise doko prepain gunaiki lupes dutukon methistason. So look at her, and if doke, she might seem in some way to you prepain, to resemble your wife. Methistaso, this is an imperative, from methistemi. So eutukon participle, faring well, let go of your grief. And Admetos says, O theoi tilexo, thaum an elpiston todi, gunai kaluson tend, emen te tumos, ekertomos me theotis ekplese chara. O gods, what will I say? This is, and this is, I put dashes in here because it's ascendating, but the grammar doesn't all fit together nicely. But so, O gods, what will I say? For this is an unexpected thalma amazement. Lusone, so it's a question here, which finishes off because it said, what will I say? For this is an amazing sight. This is an unexpected amazement. Will I say that Lusone I am looking at... sorry, not quite right. So what will I say looking at this woman? And again, we get a dash here. Understand, is she truly my, well, understand, wife? So lots of dashes in here because we get ascendeton here, where the grammar's, he's so excited that the grammar gets mixed up a bit. So just to do it, translate this. O gods, this is an unexpected amazement. What shall I say as I look upon this woman? Is she truly mine? Is she truly my wife? Kertomos me theotis ekplese chara. Now the kertomos goes with the chara. Kertomio is to mock, and I think it's a mocking joy. So is some mocking joy? Ekplese, does it from the god? Is it deluding me? Ekpleso. Ekpleso is to knock something out. It's to it's used metaphorically. It's fairly common usage in this sense, to knock you out of your senses. So hence to amaze, to here I think to delude perhaps. So is this some mocking chara, joy? Sorry, does some mocking joy delude me, some mocking joy theou from a god? Ugestin alatendi horas damata sein. Now he finally comes out and says it plainly. It is not, but you are looking at your wife, from Dama. Horageme tifasma no teron todi e. Look, indeed, lest this might be, this is subjunctive from the verb to be, lest this might be tiphasma, some vision, neoteron, from those below, i.e. below the earth. So horror in the sense of be careful, it's look out in our modern sense. So look carefully, lest this might be some phasma, some vision from those below. And Herakles says, "U psukagogon tondi poieso xenon." Now, epoieso is the second person, middle imperfect. Original eso, and it contracts to this form from poio. So a psukagogain is someone who leads the souls, often used of Hermes. So it has the sense here of a necromancer, perhaps. So you did not literally, you did not make this guest friend of yours, i.e. me, sorry, you did not make a necromancer as this guest friend. So in other words, he whom you made your guest, so the one whom you made as your guest, is not a necromancer. He's not a conductor of souls. Alhain ethapton es horo damat emain. But do I look upon my wife, whom, as usual, the relative pronoun comes before, not after, the antecedent. So, but am I looking upon my wife, whom I was burying, imperfect from thapto. Savisti, know it well, apistain du sethamazdo tucain. So I am not amazed that you, apistain for apistio, that you are in disbelief, tucain, at your fortune, i.e. that you do not disbelieve your perhaps good fortune. So I'm not surprised that you don't believe your good fortune. Thigo pros podzo san es damat emain. Now it's a question here. This thig again from thingano, I mentioned before, to touch, and this is an aorist hortatory subjunctive here, something like may I touch her, may I address her living as my wife. So may I address her now as my wife, having come back to life, as living. So son. And he says, pros ep ekes gar pan hoson per etheles. Address her, for you have everything as much as indeed you were wanting. So you have everything that you were wanting. And that's the penultimate recording for this. In the next recording I'll finish off the Alkestis.